Hello, my crafty friends. It's Andrea from Prairie Sky Paper Crafts, your independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Manitoba. We are doing a couple of different things today. I'm actually not stamping, but we're going to create a card with some dies that I love, but I haven't used in a while. We have the sunflower dies. I've cut out 2 of the leaves. One, the solid leaf, is in Granny Apple Green, and this shadowy piece, or I guess veins, is Old Olive. I love dark colored flowers and I love dahlias. So this kind of reminds me of a dahlia. I've got the sunflower outline. This is done with the Horizons Designer Series paper. And then we have the Mary Merlot sunflower piece, the solid that is cut out. And I've got a piece of watercolor paper. Now my plan is to layer so that we've got, I'm also using a little bit of ink. We're going to layer. So I did a paper saver because when it's on the card base, you're not going to be able to see our cutout piece. So I'm going to move all of our cardstock and DSP pieces off to the side. And I'm going to do a little tiny drop of Starry Sky on, whoops, maybe more than a drop, on our ink, or stamp block, sorry. I've got my mister here, and I'm just going to take it off to the side so my desk doesn't get covered in water, and load it up with some water. I'm doing this part first so that it has a bit of an opportunity to dry. I'm going to add just a tiny bit of water. And I've got my brush. I'm just going to kind of wet it a little bit. I didn't fill it up. I'm not spectacular, actually. I'm going to grab a piece of paper towel so that any of the water can get absorbed by that. I'm not spectacular with the water painters when they're full of water, but I can definitely use them like this. And we're just going to kind of, we're making a background, so there's really no rhyme or reason to the way that we're doing it. Now, the blues can sometimes be a little bit thicker and a little bit heavier. So I did try just dropping it onto a piece of watercolor paper and then sorry, distracted by the color. But I ended up with a bit of a shadow where I dropped it. You can see there's kind of a darker spot, and I added a ton more water to this. So that's why I'm choosing to do it this way for this one. And I'm going to grab a piece of paper towel here, and I'm just going to splotch, blot is the word I'm looking for. Oh my goodness. You know it's going to be a day when. And we're just going to kind of blot, because I do want this to be more of a background and not quite so vibrant. But I also don't want it to be completely perfect because it is watercolor. So I'm just going to go back over and do a little bit more, just kind of helter-skelter, few more little dark lines. Now I am going to give that a really good rinse out when I'm finished with it. And then we're going to take our water and give it another spritz and just get that color flowing again. Put that over there so that I don't get ink all over the place. And then I want it to be light, so I'm just going to rub it off. And sometimes the paper towel pattern pokes through on our design, which is really quite pretty. I'm not done yet. Wink of Stella. Oops, I just want to pull the cap off. I don't want it to go everywhere. And then I'm just going to flick. Actually, we're going to get some of this flowing too. Generally, I say not to squeeze your Wink of Stella once you've got it going, but I do want sort of a thicker pattern here. So I did squeeze it a bit, just so that we could get some more Wink of Stella coming out a little bit more thickly than it usually does. Okay, and then I'm just going to kind of streak it a little. I love techniques like this where there's really kind of no rhyme or reason at all to how it's going to turn out. We're not going to squeeze that over our cardstock because bad things can happen. There we go. Okay. Whoa! Okay, totally did not mean that to happen. Oh, it looks like I've got a total overflow here. Welcome to Prairie Sky Paper Crafters, where you never know what's going to happen and disaster can ensue. Oh my goodness, it's a good thing I don't take myself too terribly seriously, and any mistake can always be fixed, even Smurf fingers. Okay, I'm going to cover up Stella for a bit. Okay, now I'm just going to give this a blast of my heat gun. If I wasn't doing a video, I would probably let it just hang out and dry. But because I am doing a video and you guys don't need to sit here and watch paper dry, I'm just going to give it a blast. Now it will curl as the paper dries, which is why I flip it back and forth. So when you flip it the other way, and then I'm also not going to put this on a card base right away because I want to make sure that it's completely dry, even though I gave it a good blast and it does look like it is dry. There is still a chance that there is a little bit of moisture in there. So we're going to assemble our card now. Got all of our pieces. We're going to put tape. We're going to put this guy on here. So the watercolor paper is 1/4 of an inch smaller than my card base. And I don't normally go all the way around, but I am for this one because I did add liquid and I usually like to give it just a little bit more security. There we go. Okay. And again, I will be putting a stamp block or something on top of it just to make sure that it's completely flat before I adhere it to a card. So now we're going to start adhering our sunflower dahlia. I was going to use the adhesive sheets and use this on the back, but I decided to show one of my favorite ways to put two-piece dies like this together. Just a little bit of adhesive. And you want to line, oh, I got some Stella on here. You want to kind of line up your die. Now, had I been thinking, I would have marked this earlier. But it's a circle. It's not that difficult. So you just kind of move it until you see it line up. I think there. No, not quite. There we go. Okay, so we've got our die lined up, and I just put the adhesive around the center. So I'm just going to give that a push, and then you can see that there's still movement in our flower. And I'm going to do our leaves close together like this. So I am going to, sorry, my dog is right beside my craft room door, desperate to go outside. It doesn't really want to wait. Although I can't blame her. The sun is shining and it's not a bad day outside at all today. As long as she doesn't start eating stuff, we're good. Okay, so I'm just going to stick our leaves together. And I'm just doing the very bottom of the leaf as well. because we're going to stick it behind. We're going to do 2 leaves. One is going to go there. The other is going to go that way. And, okay, stop. She's decided cardboard is an ideal snack. Whoops. Oh, I lost my leaf. Not a big deal. Okay, what the heck? Oh, helps if you put your dies together the right way when they fall apart. Okay, and then we're just going to do a little bit of adhesive on the back of this one. A little bit of adhesive on the back of this one. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is the Mondayest Monday video I've ever done. Okay, now we're going to stick our flower on. We're going to go that way. Yeah, I think that looks good. And then we're going to add, actually we're going to Stella up the center first. The center of the flower, I used crushed curry. And adding just a little bit of Wink of Stella onto the front of it really makes it kind of pop and stand out. It looks a little bit different. Okay. Move that out of the way. Add our, oh, now I've got glitter on my finger too. Let's add some dots. I absolutely love the matte black dots. So I'm just going to randomly, I think 5 seems like a good number for today. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll put 1 up there. All right, so a little bit of something different today. If you're in Canada and would like the supplies for this card, you can visit my shop, which is linked down below. Don't forget to hit subscribe to be notified every single time a brand new video comes up. So yeah, something a little different. No stamping, but we did a little bit of painting with some re-inker, a little bit of Wink of Stella, and die cuts. Dies can make absolutely beautiful cards just on their own, and there are so many in this catalog that I absolutely love. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to comment down below. Let me know what you think, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Happy creating!